Alright, welcome back to the Magic Turtle Monday Morning Show, the variety talk show about all the colorful things that make life great. My coffee's already getting cold, there's still snow on the ground, and a lot of my set pieces are crooked because I don't care about that sort of stuff. I hope you don't mind. How are you this Monday morning? Hopefully better than they are for me because I catastrophically chomped down on my tongue yesterday, so if you see me talking a little bit weird, that's probably why. The topic I want to muse on today is meaning. Not in life. We all know that the meaning of life is make money so that my cat can have fancy feasts. Just kidding. There's a lot of different meanings in life, and we gotta kind of find the meaning of all of them. That was an average joke. No, the real topic is finding the meaning in art, of course, because it's me and that's this show and that's how we do things here. Some people would probably say that art and its meaning are inseparable, but I don't see it that way, really. Art and meaning is like the mind and the body. First there's like the thing itself, like the physical body, the painting, the song, the shockingly lifelike sculpture of a shirtless Bradley Cooper, and then there's like the meaning behind it, which is like the higher tier. Like this song is about love, or this painting is about pain, or this sculpture is about the pain of loving Bradley Cooper so much. In my opinion, meaning sort of takes art to the next level, goes above surface level enjoyment, and can also speak to somebody emotionally. But even just a meaningless piece of art can be enjoyed for the sort of skill and mastery of the craft. There are hundreds of famous paintings and songs without any meaning, he assumes, without Googling it, because YouTube videos are not really worth doing any research unless you're researching shirtless photos of Bradley Cooper. You could argue that even meaningless art was designed to be enjoyed, which is its meaning. It means to give you whatever feeling you get when you consume it. That's the point. Or some art intentionally has no meaning, and that's its meaning, yada yada yada, you're such an edgelord. Even worse than that is when you like see a piece of art and you have no idea what it means, and there's no way you could know what it means. Like you see a painting like this and you're like, okay. And then you find out that the artist is like, this painting is about my struggle with solipsistic existential despair and how I find solace in unifying myself with nature. And you're like, okay, literally, shut up. That's not what it's about. Like, you get to pick what it's about and somehow it's about not that. You're just saying that, and there's nothing in that that inherently connects to what you just said. You know, it's whatever. You'd be amazed how far back in your head your eyes can roll when they need to. So art and meaning do go together, but they don't need to, necessarily. It's like, and this is the most boring metaphor ever, it's like cake and icing. Without the icing, it's still cake, and plenty of people might still enjoy it, but once you pipe on the buttercream, that's when you're actually finished. And if it's really good art, the deeper, darker meaning is baked inside the cake. If you want to rescue this metaphor and make it more interesting, work with me. Maybe there's like a hacksaw baked inside it, and you send it to your buddy in prison so that he can bust out. Like, the thing might look pretty and taste great, but the deeper meaning is that it's about how the man keeps us locked down. Or maybe there's a stripper inside the cake. It's up to you. It's your art. Do what you want. Use salt instead of sugar. Just don't underbake it. I do think art is better, though, when you have something to say. People want to feel that personal connection with what you're trying to do. They want to feel your pain, or your joy, or just see the world through the artist's perspective for even a minute. I mean, that's often what makes any creative project engaging. But it doesn't have to. I think that also sort of ties into the success of, like, blogging and streaming online. It's just nice to see someone else's life for a second. And art does the same thing, but through a more complicated filter, like a novel. I remember in my writing group once, a friend of mine was like, it's important to ask yourself, what is my novel about? And I was like, oh, mine is like a crime story. It's about solving these murders. And she's like, no. What is it about? And I was like, oh, Often with art, the answer to that question is something like, it's about finding yourself, or it's about family, or overcoming loss, and so on. And if you're making something, and you're having trouble finding out what to make it about, besides just the technical aspect of creating it, here are some tips. What do you want more than anything? What is the first desperate desire that pops into your head? Maybe make your song or your poem about that. You can make it about your personal struggle, or make it more universal. What does the world want? Or what is bothering you right now? What is your first reaction to that question that makes you go, ugh, if only that weren't the case, I'd be way better off. Explore the source of that feeling. Or if you want to go more positive, what is the thing that makes you feel most fulfilled? Use that to feel your project. Maybe the thing that makes you feel most fulfilled is cake. Great. Maybe it's strippers. Just run with it. Speaking of delicious desserts and exploring new things, it's time to try a brand new piece of candy. The Magical Spellbook of Magical Turtle Spells has the candy we'll be trying today. Oh, it's these Fruit Chews Mini Bites things. It's appropriate because there's like a candy coating, but there's something deeper on the inside. I've never had these before, but I love fruity candies, and they're made by the Tootsie Roll Company, so that's cool. Alright, here we go. Gotta start with blue. It's gonna be blue raspberry. Yep. Oh no. That's too good. They're okay. You know what they taste like? It's just like those fruity Tootsie Rolls. I was impressed at first, less so now. Have you tried these? Candy-coated chews. It's not really they're not really coating anything special. 3 out of 5 turtle shells. Let's find out what we're doing next. Today's episode of Magic Turtle's Pop-Up Motion Picture Show is also about meaning and how sometimes we have no idea what things mean, but that doesn't stop us from talking about them.
So my friend Request and I have been playing this inline video game for about 3 years now. It's a first-person narrative, and it's got a whole arsenic of weapons. Like, it's got this semicirclematic machine gun called Tommy's Gun. I use that one a lot. Oh, hey, Leroy, can you put on your buff specs and use that A&E spell so that you can spawn that guy before he loots himself into all our base that belong to us? Thanks. Anyway, we're getting really good by this point. We're all basically noobs now, and we're pawning off all these mods. And I swear some of them are like AOL from their keyboard. It's like an AFK assassination out there. And they're all like, no, LOL, have mercy. But it's too late. By then, we've already brought in our rafflecopter full of a pair of Troopas and dropped them down onto the regular troop of Koopas. And they're all like, ah, FTW. And I'm like, yes, WTF, you can't have a cheeseburger.
Why did I put this up here? I need this to find out what the next segment is going to be. It's going to be... This is another ill-advised segment taken from my variety show, The Rainbow Show, where I look through some old ideas that I never used and then use them. So let's get through some of these old notebooks here and see if I had any good ideas. Okay, here we go. Every time I see, like, vlog ideas, I have to go with that. So here we go. There's my vlog ideas. The first one says, why bother? Car commercials, etc. And I remember what this is about. Like, when you see a car commercial, who's just going to impulsively be like, oh my gosh, I need to leave my house right now and go buy that Toyota Acura 6S Plus 4G 2000 right now. Here's another one. Gritty movies. Why are they there? Capitalism, stupid customers, strollers, etc. Capitalism is dumb, and then stupid customers, they're real stupid, and then strollers, don't bring those out in public unless you got a baby, and then dressing up, like getting formally dressed up, I don't like doing it. So those were the topics of the vlogs that I never used. We're looking for another idea that I want to actually execute despite it being a terrible idea. When I was looking through my hard drive, I found an old document of a rap that I had written, but it was written from the point of view of somebody who was like really highly educated, had a PhD in English or something, so it was like really wordy and used a lot of like English major phrases. And this is what this rap might have sounded like. I apologize.
Treat the beats meter feeding keys and feeding readers needing intricate proceedings against synectic key erected reverse reverse first intersection sex tablets of dactylic hexameter connected by an expert pentameter parameters.
Now it's time for more Magic Turtles tips on how to exist, because you have questions that desperately need to be answered, and I have a camera and not much else. Here's a question from Mustard's Fire 22. Need advice. Is everything we see or seem but a dream within a dream? There's always a way to know if you're within a dream. Like in Inception, it was that little top that fell over, and for me, I know I'm not in a dream if I'm not barefoot in a public bathroom, because I have that nightmare almost every night. So that's how you know. Find the thing that distinguishes it for yourself. Here's a question from Saith D. Puppeth. How do you fight off the existential dread with a double-handed broadsword, and how do you leave bed every day? Well, I don't think any of us have ever really left our beds, not in our hearts. They're with us in spirit. We're still there. Okay, unrelated follow-up question. Do you ever worry about messing up your art so much that you leave it unfinished or don't even start? Hey, look, genuine answer. Yes, I do. I once said on Twitter that, at least with painting, it seems like you're just taking hundreds and hundreds of little risks and hoping that you make it better each time, or at least that you don't make it worse. And there have been many times where I painted over sections, yeah, like this right here. This used to be something totally different, and I just kept going. But also the reward of finishing the art is worth the constant risk of failure, so for me it's just like, there's no question. It's like, well, obviously I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna be, crippled by fear. Here's a question from Banana Wallpaper that is not advice. Who are your top 3 YouTubers? You're supposed to ask for advice, but Vlogbrothers, Rhett and Link, sorted food, probably. Here's a question from Cartoon Freak 9. Why does my cat keep putting her butt in my face? Because she likes you. Here's a question from Frizza Georgia. How do I ask a girl out? Have you tried putting your butt in her face? Here's another question. Zaxophone needs advice. What's the best way to jump rope naked while doing a handstand and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance backwards in Japanese while also using your feet to sign the words for "More grapes, please" to a rhesus monkey in a tutu that's silently acting out the famous monologue from the William Shakespeare play Hamlet, because I just can't get it down yet? I'm so glad somebody finally asked the question. I've been waiting for that one. And the answer is with gusto. Here's a question from Max Dudak. What's your Avengers theory? Well, my Avengers theory is that Aquaman is actually Luke's father, but it won't matter because by then Grindelwald will already have all 12 Infinity Stones and everyone will turn to dust, and then in the next movie they'll all come back, so the first movie will have been a waste of time. Okay, now moving on to In the Works, the project that I'm working on most passionately right now. It's this album that I've been working on for, it's been in the pipeline for like 7 years now. It's a fantasy fairy pop album with different songs that are sort of made to sound like electronic baroque folk stuff. The songs are ending up being so long that I'm splitting it into 2 albums, but here's the cover, here's a quick sample so you can hear that delicious baroque sound. probably be out, the first half will probably be out in January, so look for that, or don't. And finally, every episode ends with a sincere art prompt challenge where I look up a random art prompt generator type thing, get a prompt, and try to make art out of it sincerely, and not as a joke. Let's see, generate prompts. The Forests of the Night. That's kind of a cool prompt. I'm thinking a more visual thing.
And here it is. I decided to do like a little desk ornament. It's like a little synthetic tree with these different kaleidoscopic prints as leaves and glitter soil, and a little pot down there. It's definitely not something I normally would have done, which is sort of the point of the Sincere Art Prompt Challenge. It makes you try something new, explore new artistic ventures, so there you go.
And that's it for another episode of Magic Turtles Monday Morning Show. I hope you liked it more than I liked these. Remember to keep doing awesome art things, and don't worry so much about the meaning. Just make sure that it means something to you and that you enjoy it. Don't be afraid to take risks, and don't be afraid of messing it up. And always remember, the mind is an extension of the toes, and they're connected by blood, which is controlled by the spirit of Christmas.